Well, hello. This is AKA Heather Joy, and you have just boarded the lifeboat. I'm still at my daughter's. I'm going to be here all week, but I just had to come downstairs. It's too darn hot upstairs. Well, I've been going through menopause for the last, I don't know, 5 years now. I'm still getting hot flashes, and they have the thermostat set at 73, and they do it through their phones, so I have no control over it. So I'm dying upstairs. I usually have it at least 5 degrees lower than that. Anyway, hey, I get, let me pull up the comments. Goodness. May I get a 5 by 5 if we have it? I am hoping you guys can hear and see me all right. My husband used to film hunts, and so he has all this professional camera equipment, camcorders. I've got 9 GoPros now. What do I need with 9 GoPros? But we've got microphones and cameras, and I'm just trying out one of the new cameras. Thank you, you guys. Thank you, Quiet Girl, Charlie Rose. Appreciate it. Just trying to see which cameras and things I like better. And yeah, so I'm horsing around with them tonight. Anyway, um, before I start, let me quickly go through the rules that we have here. Um, the first one, this is not a political channel. Please refrain from talking about politics in the chat and the comment section. It's just a bit too triggering for some people. Anyway, the second one, this isn't a religious channel, and it is fine to say things like, I'm going to pray for you, or um, I could not have, I couldn't have gotten sober without God. Those things are fine, but please don't be overbearing with your own personal religious beliefs. Let's respect one another and respect one another's beliefs. Let's see. The third one, of course, is please don't swear in the chat and the comment section. I know we all slip up occasionally, and that's fine. But just really try to keep it clean. As Tommy always says, if you can't control your mouth, then you can't control your life. And I agree with that. Let's see. The fourth one, please no trolls, no mean people. This boat has all the room in the world. And I know I say this all the time, but it's true. We've got all the room that we possibly could ever need to fit in as many people here as there come that want the help with addiction recovery. But this is not a place where you come to be torn down or to hurt. This is where we build each other up and help one another. So please, just no meanness at all, or you will get banned. Anyway, I would also ask you, if you haven't hit that like button yet, please exit out of the chat right now. Just give it a little love tap, and then come right back in. And if any of you know anyone who you think could benefit from our videos and from our little community here, please share these videos with other people. Please tell people about the channel. And pardon me, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. That would be awesome. We just really want to help the algorithm, there at YouTube, to push us and put us out even further and reach more people. So anyway, let me see who is in here. Sasquatch and Allison, Charlie. Age is for the birds, guys. You know what? And I got the wrong ones. I don't really help unless I got a book. Anyway, let's see. Allison, Goosebumps Zen, Virginia. Hey, I'm glad you are here. It's Charlie. Of course, you guys, Charlie, you rock. He is here before every single show. Is always such a good mod, and puts out everybody's information, contact info, all of that, and he's just always here. He's all the mods here are amazing, but thank you for everything, Charlie. Excuse me. And JJ, welcome. Balake's here, and let's see, Jason P. Good deal. Let's see. Oh, I said Sasquatch Hunter, I believe. Scooby. Hey, JJ. Uh, let's see. The Life of Dennis Brace. Whoa. Wow, I didn't think we would be seeing you for a few more days. That's a really good sign. I hope everything went well. Been praying for you. You guys, let's keep those prayers coming. Open heart surgery. Woo! Major procedure. Please, let's keep those prayers coming for Dennis. Let's see, who else? Have I missed anybody? Did I say Jason? I hope I did. Welcome, Jason. Barella, you're here. Nice. How are you? It's good to see you here. What did you have to say? What did it say? Oh, you came here strictly for the politics. Okay. Let's see if I missed anyone else here. Cindy. Is that Cindy D? Which Cindy is that? I know a couple of Cindys. And then, Cindy Party. Okay, sorry. And James Novak is here, and Rose Cave from Down Under. I love those people down under. I am half Australian after all. Valerie 102, Zenwin, Sharon, I'm glad to see you. Quiet Girls here. Lemmy's here. Hey, Lemmy. Cool. Let's see. Anybody else? I hope I haven't missed anyone. Goddess Divine. Yeah, I hadn't caught you yet. I'm glad you are here. Tim is 2A is absolute. Seventh Son. We got a nice big group here, you guys. What's truth? Hey, now there's that. That's new. You're new to me, so welcome. I am so glad you're here. I love this. And all these new people, you guys, this is exciting. This is a neat time for the boat. Anyway, you guys, I apologize. I'm a little bit off today, just flat off. I'm up at my daughter's. I'm in northern Utah, and I have a friend. It's kind of a family friend. I mean, I grew up with their children, and they were more, friends of my parents. But I've kept in contact with them my entire life just because we spent so much time together, and she's kind of more like my grandmother, but she's got cancer and she's had it for a very long time now, but it's getting close to the end, and I had to go. Well, I didn't have to. I got to go and see her today, but it's just, sorry guys. So if I seem off, I am off today. I hate cancer. It's wiped out so many people in my family, and just everybody. I don't think there's anyone anywhere that hasn't been touched in some way or shape by cancer. It affects so many people now. And I was even reading an article today about doctors are wondering what on earth is going on, because so many younger people are coming down with cancer now. And yeah, it's kind of really is an epidemic. Now it's Dr. Pepper. I know it's a beer stein, but anyway, today I wanted to talk about, learning to love yourself again after addiction. That's can be a really difficult thing at times. Oh yes, and I almost forgot. I have pinned the link that will to pull if you want to jump on here with me. If you have anything you would like to add, or if you are flat out having a really bad day and you're close to relapsing, definitely jump on, but please use that. But I'm going to be going through a bunch of different points They all have to do with, loving yourself again, which is something that's really hard. But I want to hear from you guys, especially from those who have been sober for a very long time now. I would love to hear from you and hear your experience. What did you go through learning how to love yourself again? Because that's something that we all have to deal with when we are in active addiction and we're looking to get sober. Once you get sober, you you really do. It's a struggle. You feel pretty badly about yourself. Um, I remember after I got out of rehab, this would have been in 2008, and I'd been in rehab for 6 months. I hadn't seen my husband, and I'd been in and out of hospitals, psych hospitals, a lot, right? Before the few years leading up to that, I mean, I'd been in and out and in and out. It was just not a good time, and I, had spent a lot of time away from my husband, and just looking at my life and the choices that I'd made, the mistakes that I'd made, all the people that I had hurt because I chose my addiction over them. It's, and all of the dishonesty and stealing from people, stealing their medications from them. And I mean, just all of it, we do some awful things to ourselves, to others. We ruin our relationships with our family, with our friends. I remember, looking at my life when I was in rehab and looking at all the people that I had hurt, people I'd let down, and I hated myself. I had let myself down. I had had some pretty lofty goals as a young adult, things that I wanted to accomplish, and there's a lot of them I didn't ever finish because of my addiction. And hey, it was my choice. But you have to learn to live with it. But sooner or later you've got to come to terms with it yourself. You've got to forgive yourself and start to love yourself again. It's if you can't, in the end, I think it's fine at the beginning of sobriety when you're just first starting out. We all just hate ourselves. We are very miserable when we're not proud of ourselves in the least. And we have to, that I think it's something that we all have to face, but we do have to come to terms with all the things that we've done, and really forgive ourselves, uh, because we've got to love ourselves to be able to to maintain that sobriety. You've got to love yourself to take all the steps that you need to do to stay sober. And as I was saying, I think it's fine at the beginning where you hate yourself so much that okay, I'm back. I am sorry, guys. uh where was I? um I don't remember anyway. But I was just saying, oh, I remember. I was just saying, I think it's okay at the beginning, if where you feel so badly about yourself. I think it's all right to be able to do it for them at first. But eventually you've got to come to terms with everything that you've done, and you've got to deal with it in your own heart, and come to a point where you love yourself again. You really do. Or you can't do all of the things that are required to stay sober. And if you can't take care of you, then you're really not any good to anybody else. So it's something that we all have to go through. um, I remember too, just the relationship that I had with my husband when I first came out of rehab. As I said, I had been in and out of hospitals a lot of, had really struggled with my mental health. And because I've been gone so much, you know, my husband and I had really grown apart, and I didn't know when I had left rehab if we were going to stay together. We just flat out didn't know. And so for a long time, we lived just like roommates. You shared the same house, but that was about it. Took a long time. But it was when I was able to really start to be okay with myself again. It changed me inside. It changed me. It turned me back into more of who I truly am inside. My authentic self, and I became more the person that my husband had fallen in love with again. But it took that. It took forgiving myself and starting to like myself again before things got good for us again. Um, and that was a difficult time. I remember it was a scary time. It was a miserable time. I felt very, very unloved. I'm sure you guys all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, as I go through, I've got a list of 22 tips for learning how to love yourself again. And I believe in the description box, I put the link for the article that I found these off of, but I thought they were really good. They were just written for in general, learning to love yourself again. But we're gonna put a little twist on it, and learning to love ourselves again after addiction. But I really do, as I said, I really want. Oh, ones. We got a bunch of ones. Oh, for Jason. Oh goodness, I'm not paying attention. What's going on, Jason? If you need, you're always welcome to come up on here if you need to. Looks like, you're able to talk to everybody in the chat though, and that's good. Oh, oh, wow. Oh, Jason, I'm so sorry. Wow, I'll remember you and your wife in my prayers, definitely. Wow, I'm so sorry. And cancer, dang it. It affects everybody. Wow, I am very sorry. Oh, we've got Mel again. Hey, Mel, are you the one that's from Utah? I'm curious if you are the one. I know there was a Mel that was in the chat a few weeks ago. I had heard, and I had heard that you were in Utah, so I'm just curious if this is the same one. Anyway, let me pull up this article, and we will start. And I want to hear from. I apologize, guys. I did it again. I don't know how I keep doing that, but anyway, as I was trying to say, as I'm going through these, if there's anything um, that you guys want to share with the rest of us, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear, how did you do it? How did you get out of this? And if you're still struggling right now, and it's a good idea to listen to some of the people that have got more sobriety under their belt, and hear what they did and how they came to terms with themselves again. I mean, I want to hear from you guys, so please don't be afraid to jump up on, if you want to jump up, or either put things in the chat. I'm going to try and pay attention to it, or come up and I'll let you on. You don't have to have the camera show your face. You can always hide behind your avatar too. But I would just love to hear from you guys, and make sure I haven't got anybody up yet. Nope. Okay. Anyway. Um, okay, the very first point that in this article that I found, it says you are the most important person in the universe. Oh, that's quite a statement, but just stay with me for a minute, okay? Because I really liked this point. It talks about how you absolutely need to be the most important person in your universe. Um, and you know why? I mean, think about this. Do you see the world through someone else's eyes? How do you experience your world? You know, it's the only way that you can do this is through your own senses. You know, the only way you experience your world is, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you see. That's the only way you experience this universe. Um, it's the interactions that you have with the world, that the interactions you have with people, the way that you think. All of this is the way that you interpret the events in your life. How it's how you deal with the relationships in your life. It's I think you know what I'm saying, but it's you. You're the only way that you get to experience things. So, in reality, you really should do a lot to love yourself by taking good care of yourself. I don't mean that in a narcissistic way, as in you're the only one that matters, and, to heck with everybody else. I don't mean it in that way at all. I mean, but truly love yourself in a way that makes it so that you are able to help other people and that you are able to love other people. And you can see when someone does not love themselves and they treat others badly, you can see that they're doing it because they're not happy with themselves. You see that all the time. But the less you love yourself, the less you're going to listen to yourself. If you are journaling and you really love yourself, you're going to start paying attention to the things that you're writing down. You're going to start picking up on, what things am I struggling with? What things am I good with? But you need, if the more you love yourself, the more you're going to do things that are going to help you with your sobriety, and you're going to start to understand yourself a little bit better. When we hate ourselves like we do at the beginning of, when we are just coming out of active addiction, it, the thought of doing this for me, it just doesn't even make sense. And at the beginning, when we're at that point, I think we're really confused, we're angry, we're frustrated, but we're the only ones that can truly have an effect on our reality. Um, so if you can continue, if you can start to love yourself and then continue to love yourself, you're going to be able, it's going to show in the way that you interact. And somebody has just popped on. Let me jump on here. Zenwin, hey, how are
Hi,
you?
can you
Hi.
hear me?
I can.
Is there an echo or no?
Nope, it sounds really good.
Good. Okay. First thing I wanted to say is I cannot see the chat or chat while I'm up here.
Yeah. Okay,
So
I'm looking.
yeah,
I will
yeah.
I will keep looking here.
Okay. And this is really hard for me. I can't believe I'm doing this, but
Oh, I'm
um,
so proud of you for doing it. Good for
thank
you.
you. Thanks. Um, so I've been sober this time around almost 3 years and 7 months now,
Awesome.
and yeah, I had 23 years under my belt before that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but
Wow.
what
Okay,
happened
so
was my that's just silly, but it's a really long story. But part of it was my mom got dementia, and it
oh
was really
wow.
hard. I was really close to her, and then my sister and I started not getting along, and then my dog of 12 years got Cushing's disease, and somebody came up to me and said, "Oh." hey, I got some of this. You want to try it? Because I was actually thinking of doing Coke
Uh,
again. I hadn't
oh,
done it forever. And I'm like, you know what? F it. I just couldn't take anymore. And anyway, it got me into like a 5 year, like five, yeah, about 5 years of using again. But what I wanted to say
oh,
is we're talking about loving yourself. The first year after I quit this time around,
uh-huh,
I I was doing well, um, and I loved myself. I'm having problems lately. I'm struggling with that. Um, Unfortunately, it's like I have this perfectionist attitude, even though I'm far from perfect.
hmm. I
And
understand though.
so I'm down on myself. I'm so down on myself. Yeah, I think we have a
Oh,
lot in common. Listening to you, it's like we grew up almost the same. I moved out early. My
yeah.
dad died when I was 19. My mom was a
Wow.
rageaholic. Yeah, so
Mm. Oh
yeah, but I'm
wow.
working on it. I work on it every day, and I'm struggling. I'm struggling, but I try. I get up and I try every day. As Tommy says, I get up,
Hmm.
I make my bed. I sit
Yeah.
outside and meditate and journal. But that's all I really want to
You're,
say.
oh, I love that though. That's amazing. I didn't realize that you had that much experience with sobriety. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
fabulous. And
yeah,
I I are you a little bit are you struggling with depression? Because
yes.
I know with personally, when I'm depressed, I do
Hmm.
not believe in myself at all, and I feel like a
Right.
failure. Yeah, and you don't feel good about yourself. You just don't, and it's just that you're in that negative mode of thinking.
Hmm.
Everything seems negative and impossible. And when I'm not depressed, it's very different the way I see myself. And I wonder if that's a little bit
Hmm.
about what's going on with you, because I
it's
know that.
it's not a little bit. It's exactly.
Yeah. Oh
I'm telling
man.
you, we're like sisters in another life or something. I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, I do I struggle
Oh.
with depression. It's awful. And like, yeah, you're right. Like on a good day, I feel great. Everything's wonderful. And then,
Mhm.
I'm gonna like a lot of people know the people that I do try to talk to, on the boat and stuff and my five. Um, like I feel bad, but I when I get depressed, I just cut off from everybody. I isolate, but I still try to make it
Mhm.
here. But yeah, and I know that's bad and I shouldn't do that. But I'm getting
I
better. Like I said,
understand.
up and down.
Well, feel good about yourself today because you got very brave and you came on to share with us. So, I mean,
Mm,
feel good about that. You're very I know you, I don't know you well at all, but yet, but you are such a kind and sweet, understanding woman, You really are. You're intelligent. You are, I really appreciate you coming on to share with us.
oh,
And
thank
you have a
you.
nice voice for like you could do radio or you could do a podcast. You got a nice voice.
You're embarrassing me now.
Oh,
Thank you, though. Thank you. You're sweet.
well,
Yeah.
thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Sure. Okay, I'm gonna jump off now and go back to chat.
Okay, thanks. I'll see you later
Okay.
then. Okay.
Okay.
Ah, thank you, Zan. Thank you, thank you. I love that. I love being able to interact with you guys more. That I love that. All right. The second the second thing on this list is loving yourself starts with your daily habits. Okay, so that's a good place to start. And I want you to think for a minute. Think about someone that you really love, that you really respect, that you just you think the world of them. Um, how do you treat them? I was, you know, are you? I think about my my daughters. I think about all of our children. Between my husband and I, we've got six. But I think of them, and I think of how I treat them and how much I love them. I'm very patient. I very try really hard to keep an open mind. I I look for ways that I can build them up and encourage them and help them. But with every one of our kids, more than anything, I just want them to know that they're loved. But I don't treat them badly. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Someone that you care about deeply. You treat them well. I know with my husband, I don't think I love anybody, and I never will love anybody more than I love that man. And I try, once in a while, we'll both lose our temper with one another, but for the most part, we are both very, very patient with each other and very giving and very understanding. And, I will do anything for this man. I want you to think of somebody that you love and you respect like that. Think about how you treat them. Now, and I want you to ask. Oh, I've got somebody's just popped on. Thank goodness I have that little beep that lets me know. Rose, hey
Hi.
Rose,
Hey,
hello. Oh, it's so
I
good to
just
see you.
thank you. It's always lovely to see you too. I just wanted to ask, you're saying treat people like someone you really love. The problem I've had with that is my son is the most precious person in the world to me,
Hmm.
but I've often flown off the handle at him and raged at him and just been absolutely horrific of my treatment to him. And I've been doing that since he was about 5 or 6. And it's only just in the last year that I've calmed enough to recognize what I'm doing when I'm doing that.
That's
Um,
huge.
yeah.
That's
So,
huge.
so I just wanted to kind of mention that not everyone is going to be at that stage where you actually do look up to other people, or you do want to cherish other people, or you do love other people to the extent where you can go, this is how I want to be treated. Um, but you'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It,
Oh, good
yeah,
point.
it will,
Yeah.
it will get there. And one of the first things I think that got me getting there was seeing the way my dad treated me in front of my son when he
Oh.
was only about 4, and realizing I didn't want my son to think that was normal, that you treat
Ah.
people like this.
Uh
And
huh.
yet I still treated my son like that for another 6 years. So
But
it
but
yeah,
but you look at that though, that you
yeah,
you see that now. Do you know how
yeah,
huge that is? That is
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. It is. It's massive. So it's like that
Hmm.
little bit every day, becoming aware of what you're doing, um,
Yeah.
and then realizing it's not the person that you're yelling at. It's got a lot to do with like how I felt about myself, how angry
Yes.
I was at everything, how completely
Yeah.
abandoned I felt, that I didn't have anyone there for me, that my family had stopped talking to me and I'd stopped talking to them because they
Wow.
were so toxic, and leaving my ex and everything else that I went through after that, and just
Yeah.
trying to survive for so long, before things started to settle. And it took a long time. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to mention it will
Oh,
get there,
yes. That's and
you
that.
know.
Thank you, because that's such a good point. You're right. And
Yeah,
everybody isn't. Oh, it takes time
yeah,
to reach that point.
yeah,
But if you have that intent and you don't give up, you are going
yeah,
to get to that point. But
yeah.
yeah,
And coming to something like this also makes a huge difference, not only
really.
because of the way people talk about, addiction and behavior, but it's also, as Zenwen we're talking to.
Uh-huh.
Um, I can't remember names. I'm sorry.
Oh, whoops. I bumped you out. Sorry. I didn't mean to.
Okay.
Good grief. Oops. I bumped
Yeah,
you.
it's the stuff you said about, how Tommy says, doing that one thing every day that can make a difference,
Mhm.
which for him is like making his bed every day. So even when things do get really bad, you've got that one thing to hold on to, so you know it will get better. You know, I
Yep.
can. It's yeah, that's really helped me as well. Just
Awesome.
seeing how other people have progressed, and knowing, as you said, them sharing stories and knowing I can get better as well because I can see other people doing that, and how tiny the steps were. It's not an all or nothing. That
Hmm.
perfectionism of I'm completely healed or I'm completely horrific. So
Yeah,
yeah, it
there's
is
got to
those
be a lot
things.
of gray, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Between the
So
black and white.
yeah,
Well, New Zealand Chili Head says, I can relate to what you are saying, Rose, 110%,
yeah,
he says.
yeah. I think we're kind of like twin souls in some way.
I love it. Oh,
Yeah, it's cool.
goodness.
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna jump off as well because I just wanted to share that.
Okay.
Cool.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much. That was such a good point, too. Thank you for sharing that. You guys are awesome. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya. Again, awesome. Thank you, Rose. You guys are the best. Let's see. And I just saw something here. Jason was saying, I struggled with depression and anxiety for a long time. I would coil up to Zen when I am now on prescription meds, and it has changed my quality of life for the better for the most part. Good, good, Jason. That's something I depression runs in my family. It's in both sides, and it runs in our genes. Mental illness runs it's in there, and I got a double dose. One from each parent. Actually don't know which genes I actually express, but that I have a predisposition genetically to to depression, and then the bump I got on the head from my accident, yeah, really makes me susceptible to depression, and I cannot get by without meds. Ah, here's Goosebump. Hello.
Hey,
Thank
everybody.
you. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Is there an echo?
Nope.
Oh, hooray. Okay,
Yep.
good.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm going to turn you sideways there, then I can see better.
There you go.
I have never done this before, so um,
You're brave.
trying to be. Um, I just wanted to say I don't have any substance abuse issues, never have. Thank goodness. I feel for all of you who struggle with that. I do, however, have ongoing mental health issues and depression, anxiety, and a couple of other minor things. But um, I wanted to say that there's something that has helped me a lot. I struggle with perfectionism too. I think probably all of us do, from what it's seeming like. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and expecting too much. And you were mentioning earlier about all the things that you hadn't done in your life. And I'm 57 years old, and I'm realizing all the things that I haven't done and I never will do now. And I know I have time left, and I can do a lot, but there are things that I had anticipated for myself that won't happen. And um, and yet every day is a new day, and you get up and you do what you can do for that day, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow you can do more, and then the next day you can do less, and you just do what you can every day. And I've also learned
Yep.
to take advantage of the days when I recognize that my energy level is higher, and I
Mm-hmm.
think, okay, what really needs to get done? Should I do my laundry? Should I go shopping? What can I get done today? um it And then I try to also recognize what I have accomplished and give myself credit for that. And
Good. Good. Good.
as Rose was saying, it's surprising sometimes how small those steps can be, um,
Yeah.
and how meaningful they can be. And you build your day out of minute by minute, you know,
Yeah.
one thing at a time, one step at a time, If
Yeah.
things get too overwhelming, take a deep breath, take a walk around the room, you know, think about it
Yeah.
again. And
Oh,
one other
wow.
thing, I have done my very best to eliminate the word should from my vocabulary. I
Oh, that's a
rarely
good
say it anymore,
idea.
and it
Yeah.
makes a huge difference. It took me a few years to kind of work that out, but there are other ways to say things, like it would be more effective if I did this, or I would be happier if this, or I would prefer to do, not I should.
Yeah, that's a good one because it really does when you tell yourself I should do this and I should do that, you have this level of expectation that you just can't match and it's a lot of pressure and it's not
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah,
So, oh,
exactly. Anyway,
yeah.
well, so
Oh,
that's
well,
that's it for
thank you
today.
so much. It's so good to see you too. I love being able to have faces,
Yeah,
with the names. Thank you so much and for sharing that. I love that. You really do have to, do one little step at a time, baby steps, because it's something so foreign, when
yeah,
it really is just to be okay with yourself. It's a foreign concept. And yeah, I'm so glad you guys are coming on and thank you. Yes, because it really is something. It's doable. It's not easy, but yeah, little bit by little bit. That's awesome.
yeah,
And
yeah. Give yourself credit.
yes,
Life is a
yes, and
long
you
journey.
give yourself credit. I mean, you got brave and you came on to share with us, and that's actually huge. So,
Well,
and
thank
we
you.
all appreciate it. So, thank you. It's great to see your face too.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate hearing the Utah accent too, because I grew up
Oh,
in Salt Lake City, as you know. So that's
oh,
the
that's right.
the source of the 801 in my username. So um anyway, I love the Utah. Anyway, I'll
All
talk to you all
right.
later.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Well, Jen, thank you. That was just awesome. Man, you guys are the best. You really are the best today. Well, you're the best every day, but I really appreciate your input with this because there, I you forget. I don't know. When I am able to pull myself out of depression and to feel good about myself, you tend to forget until you fall back into it. And then you remember, oh yeah, it is. This is difficult, and it does take just step by step. So you guys are really adding to this. So anyway, let's see. We were talking about daily habits and how they affect how you feel about yourself. And as I was saying, you think of someone that you really love, that you really respect, that you would, do anything for, and think about how you treat them, or um, and then think about treating yourself with the same level of, of care and respect. That's what you need to start doing. Is trying to see what is good in you. Um, you need just if you don't know where to start, that's at least somewhere. Think of someone that you really love and how would you treat them, and then try to start thinking of how treating yourself in that same manner. um, and as I was saying too, that's when okay, some of the ways that you can help yourself and treat yourself better are things like your daily habits. Sleeping properly is a good one. Um, Giving yourself adequate time and adequate space to work through so many issues. When you are at the beginning of sobriety, when you're just trying to get out of active addiction, there's so much going through your head, and there's just a lot going on, and trying to come to terms with yourself and trying to love yourself again. There's so much you got to work through in your head, and I promise you guys, it's so helpful to to journal at this time and just put everything out on paper that's up here. It helps immensely. Um, but you need to have time to work through these things and to reflect. And so something that you need to give that time to yourself instead of beating yourself up constantly. Do give yourself some time. Think about it, and like I said, journaling about it, talking to other people about different issues, very very helpful. But give yourself that time. Another thing is, exercising regularly helps immensely. If that is something you can do, it doesn't have to be anything, high impact or any, just going for a walk. But it's really, really important that you've got some physical exercise going on. Um, Thanking yourself, that's an important one. If you are treating your, well, that's a difficult one. I think, you can always start by, how do you treat those around you, and are you being appreciative of your family and your friends and the people that are there for you and that do things for you? Thanking them, that's a good place to start. And when you do something, when you're able to reach a, when you're trying to work through things and you're setting goals, when you reach a goal, I mean, thank yourself. I know that sounds silly, but it is important to thank yourself for getting you to that point. Um, it's also important, just another thing you can do. It's really important to have time to relax and to play once in a while. Um, and another thing that they put on here under this one is, avoiding vices and toxic influences. What are our addictions? They're definite vices. um, but definitely important to avoid those things in your daily habits. And then like I was talking about, the journaling, the reflecting, meditating, those things are really 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 helpful. But the way that you treat others says a lot about how you feel about yourself. And these things start to pop up in your daily habits. So making changes, positive changes in this area can be very very helpful, those daily habits. Let's see, the next suggestion on this list is, it's titled "Accept the Pain." Oh, and I've got another visitor. This is awesome. I love this. You guys are popping on. Hello. We've got Carousel Delirium, guys. Sarah.
Hi.
How are you? It's so good to meet you. Awesome.
It's nice. It's good to meet you too. I decided to go ahead and just put my face out there.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. So, how are you doing with this coming to terms with yourself, loving yourself? How are you doing that way? Can you hear me?
I can. I'm
Oh,
trying to figure out
okay.
the sound from the StreamYard versus you.
Oh. So, how are you doing as far as um, how are you doing? Have you are you, I assume that you are um, recovering from addiction. Is that is that what's going on with you?
I have a long story, a very
Okay.
long story for sure. Um, it started with me being 11-ish, from drugs, trauma, more drugs, more past, like all that good stuff. Long story short, quitting drugs was helpful because you start looking around the people that surround you and realizing they wouldn't pee on you if you were on fire in public.
Ah. So
Unless you had like something for their benefit, you know, and that's like a very long story short there. And then with that came a bunch of trauma, bringing in toxic activities, toxic relationships, just creating numbness. Surroundings.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
So when you reach that point that
I don't know where to continue from it. I'm sorry.
no, you're just fine. I was just curious how, we've been talking, just today
There's a
about
delay. I
how.
apologize.
Oh, I haven't heard a delay. I mean, I don't know. Anyway. Oh, you mean between, okay, sorry. Anyway, so we've been talking about, how to love yourself again after addiction. How,
Hmm.
what did you find helpful when in doing this? Or have you reached that point yet where you feel good about yourself?
Have I become comfortable with which point?
Are
I
you
feel good
comfortable?
about myself after being off of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know when everybody in the world knows when they're content or ready or prepared. Honestly, we're always working on ourselves. And it took me so long just to even start therapy. And when I did, I was such a weird case to all the therapists in the office. It was a place where you can go for financial aid.
Uh-huh.
And all of the therapists wanted me
Really?
because I wanted treatment. So I got tossed around. No
Wow.
one was
That's not
focusing
helpful.
on one topic.
Oh,
And it was like your alcoholic mother, it's your abusive brother, it's your drug past, it's easy to be like, I know where you came from in your life, your life.
uh-huh. Wow. That is very unhelpful when you don't have one therapist and the consistency. How,
And
wow.
right
That's
now
very
I'm going
crazy.
through MDR.
Are you? How's it going?
Yes,
Do you find it helpful so far?
in the beginning, in the very beginning,
Uh-huh.
we have like
Are
a
you
whole
hearing
chat
an
about this,
echo?
honestly, because it's the beginning of my EMDR treatment, the creating it. Yeah. Oh,
Let's
I might
see.
have had a epiphany.
Really?
Let's see here.
Let's see.
Here on the let's see.
Have you
Speakers.
got YouTube playing at the same time?
Is
Is
there an
that what's throwing
echo?
you?
Nope.
Sarah, are you hearing me and then you're hearing YouTube?
Uh,
Is that what's going on? Mute the sound that's coming from YouTube, and that
mm-hmm.
would help.
Yes.
Full of hope. She's talking about EMDR. It's eye movement. Um, what's the eye movement? I can't think of the word. Good grief. It's a type of therapy where you talk about you revisit in your head, you revisit the trauma that you've been through, but they keep you're going through all of it, but you're kind of processing it in big chunks, and they keep you there in your body, in that, where you don't go anywhere else in your mind. They use it by, you have to follow um somebody's fingers, or sometimes it's something like this, but it's things that keep you grounded in your body while you're processing
It's
all the
almost
trauma.
like it's really like having hypnosis without it.
Oh, really? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Like when I explain to people that I'm starting EMDR, which
Uh-huh.
my first project was creating an exposure hierarchy, for example, which when you're doing that, it was very, like, if you're serious about getting into EMDR, which I have like a couple friends and stuff who have dissociative identity disorder. So,
Oh, wow.
they decided, they're like, I could not do that. It would be too terrible, like just way too much.
Uh-huh.
Yet then you have people like Kevin Smith in the world that have done EMDR treatment. I actually sent this video to Tommy. It's if you look up Kevin Smith, Trauma is Trauma. I highly suggest
Wow.
that video to everyone, because he can make so
Ooh.
much relate in a manner that's like current to multiple generations of people, as well as being a comedian is Kevin Smith,
Yeah.
and it's just to hear from someone like that was so open to share. But with the exposure thing is, you go through and you put something that usually triggers you, and then you can go through and do how you can expose yourself to that. And you give yourself a rating of like 1 to 100, and 100 being like the most extreme. And you want to be able to do the activity at least 4 times. So for me, let's see here. I don't know if I have it on that one. I wrote down like a smaller one, like going to my grandmother's resting place, like where she's resting at. I am, create artwork reminding me of the trauma. You can do stuff like that. Like a silly thing for me is like looking at my Google memory photos that pop up, because actually yesterday was the year anniversary of my dog passing. And that's like,
oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. She was, that's what I have her home again tag on right now.
Oh, oh my goodness.
Yeah, she was like my baby that was with me through so much, like for so long. And she was a pit bull lab, and she was just like the prettiest little angel. But finding this channel was like, I found it from AA Ron. Came over here because, I mean, as everyone can tell you in the comments on his page, that they're like, he's like literally one of their favorite guests. And it's just,
that's so cool. That's so cool.
If you go to
way to go, Tommy.
Yeah, if you go to some of like his first other 2 videos, after the second, they're like, in the very beginning, to Aaron's like, so apparently you're one of our like most requested guests right now.
I love it. Good job, Tommy.
I know. And
that's awesome.
It's crazy about the relation, because I was actually, I started talking to Tommy and people over here. And then while I was in the process of doing this hierarchy thing, and one of my struggles is identity. And one of the things that me and him talked about, because, we're like, well, let's, we're going to get you on as a guest sometime. No spoilers. So, whoops, I already did it. Whatever.
You're okay.
It can be forgotten as easily as it's retained, right?
There you go.
He was like, you realize you're one of the 1% that are comfortable being on camera and talking and being yourself. And I was like, I think you have that number a little low, but yeah, I guess, And he's like, so why don't you have this channel? And literally, I said this statement to my therapist in my appointment today. And I said, it was a video call or a voice call with her, but usually it's video. And I was like, so that face I make when I'm like, I don't know. it's like a guilt face of like literally it's just because I have not done it.
Kind of a sheepish grin kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. It's and I explained that to my therapist over the phone. She said, "Yep, I've seen you make that face." And that along helped with me coming to terms with identity. Carousel Delirium, Sarah.
Uh-huh.
This is one of my first times putting my name with that ever.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
And
And you did it on our channel. This is
Yep.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well,
it's just, I didn't mean to take it
awesome.
over. I know it can
No,
be easy.
we've got to have you on. We need to hear any of you. If you want to share your story, we want to talk to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get you on.
He knows already. He's like, I think we're supposed to talk tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, he's had.
If he doesn't snatch you up, I will.
By all means, one of the things on my list is creating the YouTube channel, and luckily I was able to make that hierarchy break down to do some things that I can only do once because the channel takes so much. You know what I mean? And there's so many steps that's obviously going to be 100 on your scale of exposure.
Yeah.
And I even have like a little meditation planned that you all will love.
Oh,
yeah,
that sounds great. Wow.
And
I am loving all these new people that are coming on. This is fabulous.
And yeah, it's like I kind of wanted to jump into, and like the last, like with Goosebumps saying like they weren't addicted or anything. I haven't used like a heavy chemical drug. Like I think cocaine was the last one I used since like 2018 or 2019. I am 35, so I did start very young, and I was lucky to get out early.
Yeah.
And I always make jokes about that, but I'll, keep that to myself for now. And then, but unfortunately, because of those people I knew, I got to see so much repercussion from all of that in the end, and how easy you replace, that glass little bowl for, like a relationship or something else of the matter. And then going from there, like I'm in the best relationship I've ever been in. I've lived somewhere longer than I've ever lived, and I'm filling it with other things, making my anxiety going worse. So no matter what, if you have that kind of, and I know I have fibromyalgia, so there's that as well.
Yeah, I understand that one. Well, hey, we are at the top of the hour, so I am going to end this, but I'm looking forward to hearing more from you. This is going to be so good. And like I said, if any of you want to share your story, just reach out to Tommy or to me, and be happy to bring on. But anyway, thank you very much for coming on. And this is a huge step. I mean, all of you that have come on today have been kind of apprehensive about it, but you've done it anyway. So feel good about yourself. That's give yourself a pat on the back. Yes. There you go. Anyway, I will be back, I believe, in the morning, because tomorrow night is Tommy and Wages on Wednesdays with Wages. That's what they're doing. So you'll see me again in the morning. But anyway, I will talk to you guys again then. You have a great night, and thanks, guys. Thank you for all the participation. You guys are the best. We'll see you again in the morning. Good night, guys.